Hi guys, it's Miss Griffin. We're looking at Unit 5, Skill 1C, and we've been talking a lot about how to write the equation of a parabola, but now we're going to be given the equation of a parabola and asked to find the focus, directrix, vertex, etc. for that parabola whose equation is given. So for these first two, we can actually find the vertex very easily just by using our knowledge of transformations. So the vertex of a parabola, remember, is that point that's at the very bottom or the point that's at the very top. Okay, so these are both the vertexes or vertices of the parabola. So we want to identify them using this equation. It's very, very easy. This says that we need to move left 9 because if you recall Hicks-Voy with our transformations, anything inside the parentheses changes the x's in the opposite direction of what you would think. And then the Voy tells us that this y value, because it's outside the parentheses, needs to go up 7. So if we were to plot that on a graph, we go left 9, up 7. That's the coordinates for the point -9, +7. And then this, of course, now becomes our vertex. Okay, so very easy. It's the opposite of what you would think on the inside and then exactly what you would think on the outside. So now you're going to try this next problem to identify the vertex of the given parabola. So you get to ignore that 17, but this +6 means that we are actually moving left 6, and this -4 means we are moving down 4. So left 6 is negative, down 4 is negative, therefore we're at the point -6, -4, choice 1. So looking at our next example here, it says, draw a picture, then find the missing information. So we're going to actually type this equation into the calculator first, then we're going to sketch a picture on a pair of axes, and of course those axes need to have x and y labels. Every time you draw your own axes, you should have those labels on there. And then we're going to make sure that we plot the focus. We're also going to plot the vertex, and then we are asked to find the equation of the directrix. So our final answer will say directrix is at blank. Okay, so this is what we're working towards. So I'm going to pull up the calculator, we're going to do this together, and then we'll just go through a couple more examples. Okay, so in this video we're going to be talking about how to find the equation of the directrix, so we need to graph first. So start a new document, choose add graph, and then you're going to type in the equation of the graph right here. Now, if this didn't pop up for you originally, you can just hit the tab button and it will pop up itself. So we have that -1/4 times x plus 6 raised to the second and then +3. Ooh, beautiful picture. Now, if you are unable to see this, maybe your zoom is a little different than mine, your x values, y values are not the same. You can always adjust them by double clicking. So for example, if I want to change this to show me bigger or smaller, I could adjust it to show me, I don't know, up to the value of 5. Okay, so you can see how it changes the window. All you have to do again is just to double click it and it will allow you to adjust the text. So here's my parabola. We're going to sketch this in just a minute on our papers. And then we are also going to talk about how to find the directrix. So I'm going to go to Menu, and then I want to choose choice 6 for Analyze. When I choose that, I notice that directrix is not an option over here, nor is focus or vertex or any of the parabola related things except for maybe minimum or maximum, or zeros. You could use that as well. So I'm going to go to Analyze Conics. Oops. Which is choice 8. And then once I'm in choice 8, there's a lot of options that are here that we didn't originally see. So I could find the vertex, vertices is just the plural form. I could find the the focus, foci is just the plural form. The axis of symmetry, and here we go with the directrix. So this is the one I'm going to choose, choice 5. And when it pops up, nothing happens right away. So what you have to do is take your cursor and move it to the graph itself. Click on it and you'll notice that that line y = 4 just showed up because this is my directrix. Now I could also do the same thing to find the focus or the vertex. So I'm going to go menu 6, 8, and maybe I just want to confirm that the focus is in fact -6, 2. So I'm going to choose foci. I'm going to click on this, and boom, there we go. The point -6, 2 is our focus. Okay, so now I'm going to just pause this video. We're going to sketch it and write our final answer. Alright, so remember again that we need a little sketch here. So try to make it as accurate as possible, but again, it's just a sketch. This is our equation, y equals -1/4, x plus 6, quantity squared plus 3. And so we found that the directrix is this line up here at y equals 4. And the focus was the point here. I'm just going to label it as focus, which was -6, +2. And if we wanted to, we could talk about the vertex being this point, which would then be -6, 3, based on the same idea that we did up above. Okay, so directrix final answer, y equals 4. Okay, so as a reminder, we got there by doing these steps. We entered the equation in the graph. Then we went to menu, 6, 8. And then from here we chose choice 5 for directrix. And then of course you have to click on the graph in order for it to pop up. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next page, see a couple more examples. So we're actually going to skip this next one, number 2, because it is asking you just to do the same exact thing. So again, you would sketch, you would type it into the calculator, and then go to menu 6, 8, and then choose choice 5 for the directrix. Okay, so you can try this on your own once you get back into class with a calculator. But we are going to talk about number 3 right now. So again, we have a parabola here. This time though, they told us that the directrix is given and we want to know the coordinates of the focus. So we're going to plant a sketch. I'm going to show you a little video typing it into the calculator again. I'm already going to have this equation typed in though, because this should be a no-brainer for you to be able to type that in at this point. Alright, so as you can see, I've already got the equation plotted. I know that when I go to find the focus, it's going to land somewhere in this spot, because remember that the focus is always on the inside of your U shape. And so I'm just going to grab this label, click and hold to get the hand to close, and move it out of the way, just so it doesn't get too congested in there. Okay, so yours might say F1 if you started a brand new document. It doesn't matter as long as you've got the equation graphed. So we're going to go to Menu, Analyze, which is option 6, Analyze again, so that we can find foci, which is the plural for focus. Okay, so then again, same idea with the directrix. You actually have to click on the graph for it to show up. And so it tells us that the focus is located at 4, -1. And again, if you want to confirm that the directrix is in fact at y equals -3, like the problem states, then you could go to Analyze, Analyze Conics, and then go to Directrix. And beautiful, in fact it is at y equals -3. Okay, so we're going to sketch this and then write our final answer with that +4, -1 for the focus. So I'm starting my little sketch here. We've got the parabola plotted, our directrix at y equals -3, and then the focus, remember, was here. That's our focus, and the focus is located at 4, -1. Okay, and then number 4, again, same idea. I'm not even going to bother typing it into the calculator with you or to show you again. You just now again go to Menu, 6, 8, and then choose the choice for focus, which is 3. It says foci because that's plural. Okay, so again, you could try this one on your own when you get back into the classroom with a calculator. I do want to point out the answers to these 2 problems that we skipped though, so in case you were wondering what the answers are for question number 2 and question number 4, your directrix for number 2 does come out to be y equals -2. And again, that's just found in the calculator, and then for number 4, the focus comes out to be -5, 4. Okay, so we got one more example on the next page, and then you're good to go to your practice problems. So here with this last one, this is something that might be typical of a Regents problem. And so it says, what is the equation of a parabola with a focus at -5, 37/4, and a directrix at y equals 35/4? And then they give you a bunch of equations. So what you're going to do with these is type them in one at a time. And then you're going to analyze to find the focus and the directrix. So I'll show you how this works in the calculator. Alright, so I'm here with my calculator. I'm going to hit tab to pull up the f1 of x, and I'm going to type in that first equation. So we've got x squared plus 10x plus 24. 34, not 24, 34. And I hit enter, and ooh, shoot, I don't see the parabola. So that means that I've got to adjust my values here. I know that I should probably go maybe as high as 50 to start, give myself some space. And that looks pretty good. So we're going to analyze right here, menu 6, 8, and we want to find a focus and then also the directrix. So focus was choice 3. I click it. Ooh, that looks good. -5, 37/4. That matches. I know that it looks like the focus is pretty much directly on this parabola, but if I were to zoom in, so I'm going to just do that real quick. Menu 4, and then zoom in is choice 3, and I get to choose the center of my zoom. So I want to zoom over here so that that's kind of looking a little bit closer. Ooh, look at that. You see how it's just barely off of my parabola, so it's very close to the vertex of the parabola. Alright, so I'm going to hit escape so I don't keep zooming, but I do need to find the directrix now. So I'm going to go to menu again, analyze, analyze, so that's 6 and then 8, and then directrix is choice 5, just as we practiced on the previous page. And so I click on the graph, and again, it looks like they're pretty much touching one another, but it just means that they're very, very close. And here it said the directrix is 35/4. So it looks like choice 1 is my answer, but I'm going to try choice 2 just to see, or to show you guys rather, the difference between the two graphs. Okay, so I'm going to go back, hit tab, and then I'm going to type in my second equation. So I'm actually going to delete what was in there, and we've got -x squared plus 10x minus 16, and hit enter. Now it's still showing me a directrix, but I don't see my actual picture. So I'm going to go to menu, window, zoom, but instead of choosing zoom out, I'm going to just try zoom standard at first, which was choice 5. So I can't see the highest point, my vertex. So I'm going to adjust my y value only for the maximum by double clicking it, as we talked about before. I'm going to try 50 again. Okay, that works for me. So it's really high. It's too high, in fact, but it doesn't matter. I can still see what we got going on here. Remember, I still had it analyzed for the directrix and the focus. And so those things are still on there. That's kind of a perk of just changing F1 into my new equation, because I don't have to go back and analyze again. So that's just good for future knowledge. And so this one, very different. We've got +37/4 and then 5, 35/4, and those are not matching what we have on our paper. So again, choice 1 is our answer. So here I've just circled our answer, but then I also showed you again what that sketch looked like. X and Y axes are labeled. We've got our parabola from the original, choice 1, the focus, and the directrix drawn in there, in case it were a short answer question and we had to show our work. Okay, so down here at the bottom, you should be talking about anything that you learned, anything that you want to talk about. Maybe what are the calculator steps for finding the focus and directrix? And then also maybe talking about how to identify the vertex by hand. That was like our example 1. on a parabola, such as like y equals negative 1/4, x plus or minus, let's try minus, we haven't done that in a while, x minus 4 squared, and then, I don't know, plus 2. So how would you find the vertex for that? Okay, so again, these are just things to think about when you're writing your summary. It should be anything that you need in order to remember how to do this skill successfully. All right, go ahead and get to work. We'll see you in class.